The next thing that I want to introduce is more from a reporting perspective, being able to see things at the level of what a pre-created either income statement is going to be, or being able to look at information in more level of detail. So as an example, I have a report here that's showing an income statement that's actual versus budget. Again, I can have some prompts that are available for me to look at. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scroll down and pick the period that I want. So in this particular case, I want it for period 1, and I just click on OK. However, if I was to click period 2 and period 3 at the same time, it would be a consolidated total for periods 1, 2, and 3 inside of the income statement. So again, you can pick and choose what periods that you want to be able to see. I then click on OK. And you can see that we now have an income statement that's showing up for this information. Now, I'm showing not only the balance or the period amount, but I'm also showing the associated budget right next to it with a calculated column that's showing the variance in that period. Okay? That's looking at the information from an organized area. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to open up another report. That's another income statement report. But this time, instead of just looking at the income statement report from the perspective of actual versus budget, what I'm going to show is I'm going to show it as it relates to, for a specific period, I'm going to show the information as it relates to debits and credits, and then the period amount. And what you can see here right now is I have a lot of information with regards to my revenue, my cost of sales, and my expenses, but I want to focus in on a specific area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus in on, for example, in this particular case, marketing expenses. So I'm going to click on marketing expenses. I'm going to go ahead now, and in the bottom, I'm going to be able to filter. So by clicking on marketing expense, I'm going to click on the drop down. I'm going to say, I only want to include marketing expenses. I want to analyze that in more detail to get more information at the journal level. So I'm going to say filter just on that. And what will happen is the report will come back with only the marketing expenses that you're going to be able to see. And right now, that's all we're seeing is just the marketing expenses. But now I want to be able to edit that information. So up in the top left, you're going to see an edit field. So although we have a pre-created report that's been created there, you can always embed and add additional information that's in the solution. So I'll click on edit. And what will happen now is I have some information that I want to be able to see. So if I go into the GL area, I go into my chart of accounts, I see my general info. And the first thing that I want to do is I can see I have my GL levels 1, 2, and 3. But you know what? I want to have the GL account code and the GL account name. So I'm going to go ahead and take that information, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag and drop it once I've selected it into my report. And now I can see the marketing expense for that $45,000 is broken down now by GL account. Now, I might want some additional information. So now I'm looking at it at that level, but I want to be able to go down to the journal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my transactions, go to my general information that's here. And this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I want the posting date. I want reference 1, reference 2. I want the memo field. I want the project code, the cost center, and the transaction ID. And the order in which I select it, that's how it's going to get added to the report. Again, now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag and drop the information right onto the canvas. And the information is going to be at that level of detail. So again, it's showing you the GL account. It's showing you the posting date, the reference number, the memo field, all the information right down to the transaction of all the activity that's been happening specifically with regards to marketing expenses. Okay, so that's kind of what I wanted to show you from a demo perspective